project for today is going to be a little different. Won't be doing any small engine stuff, but I found this pallet racking for the shop and I got it for $100. It seemed like it's pretty rough, but it's a good deal compared to what I've been finding for pallet racking for sale. So I think I'm going to sand some of this down and we'll paint it before we put it in the shop. But for now I just got to get it loaded the rest of the way up and then we'll haul it over to the shop. I've got the screen stuff for laying here I got to load up too. So get doing that and we'll get over there and get started prepping it for paint. Alright, I think I'm going to call that good enough. I only had 2 of the bigger straps, so I just ran some of the tails over the top to help hold that down. Then I got a small strap around looped around these cross braces so they don't end up falling off. And I think we're ready to head to the shop. Well, I've got it back over at the shop. I unloaded some of it. I only need I want 4 of those cross braces and then 2 of these uprights. This one is the same height as one of the other ones. They're the 2 tallest ones. It's just got some bent spots in it, but it looks like it's still pretty much intact. This one's the only one we'll probably have to try to figure out how to straighten. This upper one is okay, and that top cross brace is okay. And I got it set up over here. I think I'm going to leave the cross bracing orange like it is. It's not in that bad a shape, but this stuff is pretty rusty. I want to I'll just put a coat of like a gray primer or something on it. I've got a few cans of that I've had for a while. I'll just get rid of those. The spot up against the wall I'm not super worried about. It's mainly just the outer face, and then these ends on the cross braces I'll paint. So we'll get the drill out with the wire wheel and clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to be too worried about how great of a job we do on these. I just want it to look halfway decent. So I'll get you set up and we'll kind of speed through that part, and then once we get all the painting done, once it's dry, we'll start setting it up. Well, I've got one of them ready to paint. The one side was a lot better than the other, so I'm thinking it was leaned up with the dirt, and the one side, that part was on the ground, so that's a little rustier, so we'll probably put that part against the wall. But I'll get the paint out and we'll paint up this one, and then we'll go sand down another one. I just got a little bit left in this can. This is just some old Lawson paint that I had, so we'll see if it's any good. I don't really want to spend too much money on this stuff. It's going to be inside, so it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just going to make it shined up just a little bit. So let's see what this stuff does. Hopefully this can still actually works. It's about all that can had, but it's actually looking pretty nice. That's a heck of an improvement over what it was. So we'll just keep on going with this, and I'll bring you back when I get them all sanded down and painted up. So I got it painted up and I let it dry. We had to use one of them is a 10-foot tall piece and the other one is 9 foot. I didn't really need it that tall anyway, so I'm just gonna go up to the top with a 9-foot piece. I might have to come down a little because it's a little bit bent up there, but I didn't trust the pieces with all the bent crossbars and stuff, so this one had just this one bent spot and the rest of it was straight. I ran out of the gray paint, so this is a little more silver than the rest of it. But I'm gonna, this is my used oil barrel. I have a deal that goes on top of that. So it'll be nice to have a shelf up above it and I can store all my drain pans and all that kind of stuff. And then this is bulk new oil. So I'll keep that underneath there, and then I have a hydraulic oil barrel that I'm gonna put there. So we'll get to putting this together. I've got the little electric forklift here, and I didn't paint these cross beams. I maybe will someday, but I was running out of paint. So, and these aren't that terrible. These ones must have been sitting up off the ground so they didn't get as rusted. This one had a bunch of stuff on it, so I'm gonna put that towards the back. But this is a little bit tough to put together by yourself, so I'm gonna use the forklift to lift that up, the beam, and then we'll shimmy it behind there and I'll get up on a ladder. Once you get one piece in, it isn't so bad, but it's hard to get that first piece locked in, and I have to mark out which holes so it's even going up. So we'll get started doing that, and I'll put you on a time lapse for that. Well, I got the first beam in. That one wasn't too bad actually. This is that, it says here interlake. I thought this was the teardrop style, but this has more of a like a straight hook that comes down. It actually seems to be an easier one to put up. And it's got a pin that you push through, and that's what locks it in place so it can't move now. We will have to adjust the side to side here a little bit. But I noticed, I don't know if you can use different, the actual teardrop style ones, because this one is a teardrop style beam, so I'm hoping that's going to fit in there, but it still has the same locking mechanism, so we'll see how this one goes. I got the second one in. I'm just going to put two up top so I have a tall top shelf, but this is enough room now that I can walk underneath with plenty of room and not hit my head or anything. So that'll be one good size shelf there, and then one up on top. The one up on top is I usually just put stuff up there. It's going to be stored for quite a while, but we'll have to come down off of that one a little bit, so it's not going to be too tall of a shelf, but it'll still be plenty of storage up there. So I'll go get those other beams, and then we're going to have to put a platform up there so I can stand up there to do the top one, because I can't really get up there any other way on that one. So I've got these shelves up here, but they're a little bit too wide. I can't finish to the end there, so what I think I'll do is I'll probably just put some boards down on these lips here. I've done that before that's what my other pallet racking has, just like 2x10s down in here. So this is a good start though, because it covers 3/4 of the shelf, and then we'll put 2 more of those on the very top, and then maybe we can overhang them on the top a little bit or something so it fits better. But all these are is a steel beam that goes across and it hooks down in that channel right here, so they have to squeeze in there, so it's having a hard time pounding them in. Everything's bent a little bit and stuff, but this will work good enough. So now we'll move on to putting the top beams on. Well, that was quite the battle to get that last section of shelving in there. It fit really tight. I ended up not going quite all the way to the side. I had to try to pound it over the whole way. It must get narrower to that point. I think there's a little bit of a bend in this, so it's pulling it a little bit closer together, but that'll work. I'll probably put something on the end so stuff doesn't fall off of there anyway. And then over here, I don't know, I might cut down some of that screening stuff so it fits in that little extra hole there, but it is kind of nice for climbing up. You can climb up on top of there if you want. And then we'll get the barrels situated under here, and then this project will be coming to an end. This shelf will get filled up, I'm sure, sooner than later. Well, I got it all put up and got the shelving on it, and I cut down some of the shelving pieces here, so I got it completely across, and then up top I just used that little leftover piece from what I cut off, so I've got a little gap there, but I might just put a board in there or something. But I got my gas cans up there and a bunch of the drain pans and stuff, and then down below here I got my oil barrels with the bulk oil and my used oil barrel. I just built this tray here, and I just welded a pipe into it that goes down into the barrel for dumping my used oil in. But that's gonna do it for this one. This is a little bit unusual one. I usually am fixing some type of engine, but I figured I needed to get this done. I thought I'd do a short video on it. But like always, if you like this sort of thing, like the videos and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.